Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School.
But before we begin, let me inform you few things about us. DevOps School is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
Okay, so now next phase of learning. Next phase of learning is very important. All of you have to look at it very carefully. So what to do now? So the question is how to write a code. I will continue. This is the picture. I have not started actually. I just showed you, so you can download the provider, but after that I have not started. So I hope that all the questions, confusion around here we had, it's good. It's it's resolved. Okay, the extension, file extension or number of files, what file, which file, all these things should be resolved now. Okay, now the question is what is your desire? Please understand that, and request to all of you, please focus on the demo during the demo, because that way it will save your time also, my time also. I can cover more topics in that duration, so it will be good for us. So what is your desire? What do you want? What do you want from Azure? What do you want from AWS? What do you want from the GitHub? So these are the three providers we are using for timing, right? So tell me, what do you want from Azure? First thing, when you go to Azure very first time, what do you want? What do you want?
Maybe a virtual machine.
Okay, yes.
Subscription and resource.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Subscription and resource groups.
Subscription, I want it, but yeah, subscription also here. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Repository.
Azure DevOps, that's the repository. No, I'm not talking about the Azure DevOps. I'm talking about the Azure portal. Remember?
Yeah, maybe VM databases, web apps, mobile
So
apps.
probably first thing, what I want the resource group, correct? Na? And after that, I want the VM. VM means compute resources. You want compute resources, right? Sorry, if I make some spelling mistake, please ignore it. So sometime I write wrong thing.
I need VNet, subnet.
Right. So
SSD.
VM, yeah, VMs you want, network you want, right? Compute resources, storage resources, network resources, correct? No, all these things.
Yeah.
Sometime platform as a service also. So here, what do you want? AWS? You want the EC2 instance? Sorry. What do you want from the GitHub? Let's say you want to create a repo. Though there are so many things you want. So guys, I'm teaching you patterns so you'll never get stuck, because I just told you, right? 2,000 providers are there with Terraform. Okay, 2,000. So, and it's keep on increasing every day. And you have to write the code for every provider. Maybe today you are saying, Rajesh, I will write only for Azure. Okay. But Azure required some integration with other tools also, right? So you can't, only Azure you can use for everything. Okay. So it's like that, like a Kubernetes. So yes, what is your desire? So my desire is from AWS to do basic stuff right now. AWS also, Azure also, GitHub also. So now guys, what is happening? I'll tell you is a very simple thing, simple way. This AWS is a platform. Azure is a platform. GitHub is a platform. Okay, Kubernetes is also platform. So all these are platform, and these all supported by API. This is also supported by API. This is also supported by API. This is also supported by API. Now, you know, guys, there's one keyword which we call it resources. Resources. What is this resources? Anyone would like to tell me? Resources means?
Resources nothing but objects like VMs,
Yeah.
Nick,
Resources means same thing, guys. You want the VM, it's one resources. You want some storage, one resources. You want one network, you want storage. EC2 instance, one resources. Repo is one resources. So here, like that, you know how many resources we have in AWS? 4,500. How many resources you have in Azure? Approx 4,000. GitHub also more than 200 or something like that, 300, right? So these are the list of resources. So guys, what I'm trying to tell you here, whenever you write a code, understand that in the code, what we have is very important. You have a resources. I'll create a skeleton. Resources 1, resources 2, resources 3. Like this skeleton you'll have. Now, can I show you some of the resources for Azure? I will not show you anything else, but go to the Azure. This pop-up is really disturbing. Has gone. So Azure, sorry. So Terraform, Azure provide. I'll refer the documents for you. No other place to look for it. I repeat, no other place. Please follow me. Now you see that here, left side, you know what is this? This is a category. What category? Look at this here. Here you see all category, right? Look at this.
Azure resources category.
Yeah, resource category. So these all are resource category. But right now, what you are focusing today now, compute. So where is the compute? Here you have a compute. Where is that? Virtual machines, right? These are virtual machines.
No, it
See here, all resources.
Yeah.
These are the all resources. And look at this here, compute is a one category. And see under the category, how many resources you have? 28. Look at this. General 18. Here you see networking 34. So like that, you understand that. What I'm trying to tell you here, if you come for the Terraform programming, first you have to learn the platform provider, the one which you are trying to code for it. But right now, compute resources, which you all know that. So where is that? Is here. Compute. Now in the compute, I told you there's hundreds of resources. You may have it. Right now, how many? 28. So look at this here, 28. Here you will be having. Out of which one you want? I want the virtual machines. So look at the virtual machines. I read these virtual machines. Do we have? I'm going scrolling a little fast. See here. Linux virtual machine. Correct? And you will have a Windows virtual machines also somewhere downside here. That means if I want to create a Linux machine, I'll use these resources. So, okay, fine. I got it. This is my resources. So here I'm creating a pattern now. So resources name is Azure _ Linux _ virtual _ machine. Got it, guys? All of you? So far, so clear?
yes,
Yes, Rajesh.
Now I'll go for similar way. I'll go for AWS. I'm not showing you the demo on AWS, but I'll make you a little bit comfortable. So that you'll understand that what I'm talking about. So same way I'll go. I want in AWS VMs, we call it EC2 instance. So this is the AWS. I'll be a little bit comfortable with the AWS. Just a second, guys. Let me log in. Here, this is the AWS. And I will go and see that EC2 instance. See, these are the category services. See here, all these categories are there. And here out of this, EC2 is one of the category. And inside that, you have a 20, 30, 40 resources, at least you have. See that. This is the EC2 resources. Okay. If you're comfortable with AWS, that's wonderful also. No problem. If you're not comfortable, don't worry about that. Just learn the pattern for that. Because you have to write a program code for the multiple resources. This is the EC2 instance, we call it. Okay, so what to do? I'll go to Terraform, AWS provider. and their documentation itself. Okay, I will not ask anyone. I will learn myself. And here you see AWS provider. On the left side you have a category and look for the compute. Where is the compute? EC2, Elastic. Sorry, it's not compute. It's a Elastic 2. EC2, 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 E. And here it is. This is the EBS. This is the EC2. Here you have. And so EBS, EC2, this is the one. And now, how many resources you have? See, you have here. Look at this. But I don't need all these things right now. Let's focus on this AWS instance. See here. What exactly? I will read it. I will not rush. Okay, I will not rush. I will read little bit here. I will read little bit here. You will automatically understand that. And here, what we decided I want is AWS instance. Okay. So now next resources I want. Resource. What I want, this one, not resources, resource, one resource. And here I want one resources. So here this code will get me the Azure. This code will get me the AWS instance, virtual machines and AWS instance. Now third repository what I am having is GitHub. I'll open up with a little bit cool mind. GitHub provider. And here I'll log into the GitHub also in front of you. I've already logged in because here. So this is my demo organization. Where is that? Sample program demo temporary. Yeah. So this one I will use it. Okay. Here all the demo I use it for that. So yes, this is the documents. And you should not use the GitHub. They're saying, hey, use the integration GitHub because GitHub got deprecated and new release they made it is this one. That was a warning you were seeing last time. So okay, anyways, so here providers here it should be not a GitHub, it should be this is the hub and it should be here. So and integration GitHub and this is the let it be GitHub. So cool, done. Okay, so now what is the where is the document is here resources. Look for this. I'll read it with a little. If I know the GitHub, then it'll be good for you to understand. So what I want the repository to be created. Where is this creation? So GitHub repository file, repository milestone. Here it is. I will read this one and I will decide, okay, this is the one I need it right now. So now you know that. Now what I was trying to teach you, you go to any platform. I repeat, you go to any platform. Just a second. You go to any platform. Ultimately, what you have to do, you have to locate your resources. Your resources is important. Understood, guys, all of you so far? All of you understood?
Yeah, understand.
Okay. So that first step number one, coding. Step number one, identify your resources which you want to create. Resources. How to identify? I told you. So for that, you need to know the platforms very well, like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, or whatever it is. Let's say you are using the Kubernetes. You should know Kubernetes. Then only you will understand what the resources which is doing what. How can you write a code without knowing the infrastructure? Right? You have to write a code only. Yeah. So that's a step number 2. Yeah. Guys, can you please mute yourself if you are talking? Yeah. So here, step number 2. Now, guys, let me do one thing. Can you see my screen, right? All of you? Hello?
Yes, we can see
Yeah.
it, Rajesh.
Yeah. So, guys, first thing what we do, let's say resources. I'm creating a virtual machines. So when you create a virtual machines, manually I'm showing you first. When you create a virtual machines, didn't you select the CPU, RAM, subscription, resource manager, and region, image, all access, all stuff like? Didn't you select?
Yes, we do.
We do. So here, this is this is a Azure actually, and also same thing. If you create a AWS instance, you do select lots of options. This is the AMI instance type, configure instance, storage, this, and same way here. If you go and create a repository, you select some option. What option? Here you have few options: name of the repository, public or private, and some other options here. So guys, that we call it attributes. So now let's say I'm creating Azure machines. So what are the attributes we have available? So I'll go a little bit down, scroll it little bit down. Okay, I'm just scrolling a little bit slower. Yeah. So here, can you read this here? All of you here. What is that? Arguments. So any
Argument
resources you
reference.
create, you have arguments. Okay. So now what do you need to do? Very simple thing, guys. Step number 2, identify your resources arguments. What arguments? Same thing which you know that very well. So here, now what will happen? Now I'll continue this one. And this one I'll specify in order to create a virtual machines, what image you want, what CPU you want, what RAM you want, what password you want, what this, that, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. So can I show you? Here you look at this. Some of the arguments are required. See here. Without that, you cannot create a resources. But most of the arguments is optional. So whenever it's required, they will tell you. Whichever is optional, it will tell you. Required, you have to use it. Optional, you can skip it. That platform means Azure has set that platform for that. You have to be pro in that. What you want. So now we understood. Okay, fine. So basically, what resources I want, and after that, you have to specify arguments 1 is equal to x, argument 2 is equal to y, like this. Arguments 3 is equal to j value. So same thing you will do with GitHub also. Same thing we'll do with AWS. Are you comfortable with this skeleton? All of you? Hello?
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah. Now with that learnings, guys, I will go and show you a little bit how to see the example code. Look at this. This is the example use of Linux virtual machine. Look at this very carefully. Example use. So if you want to create, think simple, okay? Think simple. If you want to create a resource, look at this here. What resource? Linux virtual machine. Then these are the arguments which you have. Name, resource group name, location, size, admin username, network interface, admin SSH key, OS disk, and all this. This example to copy from. Okay, same goes with I want the AWS instance. Here, look at this. AWS entry is a little smaller. Okay, so here what arguments? AMI and instance type and some tags. If you go for GitHub, look at the resources. Name, description, visibility, public, private, some template. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah, Rajesh. Can you please show that Azure, but once again, that example? Yeah, here. Okay, so these are the resource for the virtual network. And so all examples are for each and every resources. Is it?
Yeah. So here, resource group, virtual network, subnet, all this thing is created. Okay. So
Okay.
now, why they are asking, why you have to create for creating a virtual machine? Why do you have to create? So you create or you can use the existing one also, no problem. Okay. So that is a stuff. So now what I'm doing right now, Simple thing.
Um,
Here,
one,
for one,
sorry to interrupt, Rajesh.
yeah.
So for that example, I found that resource group means I think for virtual machine we need to give the resource group as a complementary means sorry as a means not optional here. So is it means we need to create that resource group first and then we need to run that code? Is it the thing?
Logic is very simple. If you want to create a VM using existing resource group, then you don't need to create a resource group new one. Use the existing one. But if you want to create a resource group first and then create a VM, then also is possible. It's up to you. How do you do that? Every resources is every features on Azure is a one resources. Got it?
Yeah, understand.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do, guys, so first thing here, for the sake of discussion, for the sake of demo, I am not creating a virtual machines, but I am creating one resources, which is called resource group. Why? Because that code is a little bit smaller, just to begin with. Slowly will complicate. So you'll also understand that. So what resources I'm creating? Resource group. And what resources here I'm creating? One GitHub. What resources I'm creating? AWS instance. All these three resources I'll create just now. So guys, this is the discussion. This is the pattern. Okay. So remember that what you have to understand, each provider you have a resources, each resources you have arguments, and in the tier program, what you need to do is you need to provide these resources only. So can we do that programming? So first let's start doing the programming for Azure. So okay. So I'll go to resources and I will not complicate too much, but rather just call this code. And here, go to the Azure, and this is the resources. Done, Azure TF. Now, this is the resource name. This is the example. This is the name. This name, the example which you see, this name is for the Terraform. This name is for the Azure API. And this name which you see is the resource group name. So here I will say, hey, there's one resource I want to create, which is called DevOpsSchool. And which location you want to see. So location means region in Azure. So for that, you can decide which locations, how many locations we have. So if you go and create the resource group, here is a resource group, and I'll create manually first. See here. So here you specify region, right? And these many regions we have. Select one of these. So here I'll go for South India, Asia Pacific. Correct now? So here, South India. And the name of DevOps School resources. Are you comfortable, all of you? So far? Hello?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. So now can I test this code first before moving? So guys, I will teach you now. Look at my screen, all of you. Clear the screen. The first thing, I should check my code is correct or not. Okay. I wanted resources. Which resources? ARM resource. I mean, Azure resource group. So I have wrote some code, this code, whether it's correct or not. How do I know? So for that, Terraform,
Can plan.
no, not plan, validate. Please read this. Validate, which will check whether your tier program configuration file is valid or not. So can we run this? So here I will run Terraform validate. Look at my screen, guys, very carefully. Okay, just give me 10-15 minutes, it'll be done. Now there is a problem. What they are
Yeah.
saying, there is a problem here is
With the provider is missing.
so there is a provider configuration required provider integration hub, but later provider is not available. You may be able to install automatically. So what to do in order to fix this?
We can use Terraform init first.
Wonderful, because I modify that provider, right?
Yep.
So I have to run it one more time because I did not download that time. So see here, GitHub provider is being downloaded. So don't run away from the error message. Read it. Try to understand it. Today I can solve you, but who will solve tomorrow? I don't want you to go to the google.com. Okay, you should solve yourself by reading the message. 80% of the errors can be solved only by reading the error message. Okay, done. So can I do the validate now?
Yes.
Enter. And you see that my configuration is valid. That means all the code which I wrote, it's perfectly fine. There's no syntax error as such. After that, I will dry run. And for that plan, correct now, all of you?
Yeah.
I will do the dry run. And this will not create a resources. It will only tell me whether resources can be created or not. Any programs with a connection or anything as such. So there is a problem actually. Let the error come and then we will solve that. Now here, there is a one problem in the providers. The problem is insufficient feature block. At least one feature blocks are required. What exactly that is? So code was correct, but insufficient feature block. That means for Azure ARM, if you really want to create, then the block which I use these resources is not sufficient. So what should I do?
But okay, so Rajesh, actually, yeah, we can see that the information is not sufficient. And another thing is like it that error message is saying that something missing at 23 line, right?
Providers 23.
Yeah.
It's
So we have to
pointing to
go to.
providers.tf file in.
I think we have to go to that file first.
Yeah, I mean, we will figure it out. That insufficient feature block, provider.tf, provider Azure RM, that's a provider, and at least one feature blocks are required. What is missing? We should understand that. Okay, so for that, I will go to providers.tf. So see, for downloading the provider, understand that very simple logic. I use this block, but for running the code, I did not say this only block is required. So can we go and ask Azure, hey Azure, can you please tell me what are the feature block you need it? In that case, I'll go to up, little bit up, click on here, and it's logical, guys. Then you have to discuss
Authenticating to
about
Azure.
authenticating to Azure. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah.
Authenticating, because in order to authenticate, they required more information which is not there. What to do? Okay, it's not only this one. How do you authenticate? See, examples are given. See here, features. Some examples are given. See here, Terraform and provider Azure ARM feature. So now this block, first of all, add and solve that problem. Okay, this is a additional block. So remember that I'm extending the code a little bit one by one, not copying pasting the live code and make it happen. So here, what was the error? Feature block is required. So here, feature block is there. What is there in the feature? That's not a problem. That's not a case right now. Okay, so this block is there. So I did this, and after that also I'll get some error. So slowly we'll fix that also. So let's look at the error. Keep a pointer of it. Again, validate. Don't forget this flow. Validate, plan, apply, and delete. Syntax is okay. Plan one more time. Okay. Now we have error. Now, can you please help me? How can I fix this?
Okay, so it says ensure. Okay, maybe we don't have that Azure CLI on our laptop.
Tell me.
Okay.
Authentication, I think.
And
It expects a easy login.
launching the executables. No, first I think the error is saying that we do not have the Azure CLI. Okay, so where that can happen actually, right?
Correct. So guys, understand that Azure, you know what? Azure do not support authentication using the Terraform. So what they support? So they support the authentication, the API call, not through the PowerShell and all. They support through the Azure CLI actually.
Azure CLI.
Okay. So now you say, Rajesh, where do you come to know? So what I did, I read the Microsoft documents for that. Okay. Here. And here, see here. See here. How can we authenticate? So if you look at this here, I will read this. And here, somewhere, they will tell you, just a second, go for authentications only. Just a second. See here. Read this. And here you have to read this. Little bit of it. For Azure, see, I'm teaching you, but so here they say, hey, do you want to Azure Cloud Shell? You want to use it? No, I'm not using it. Are you using Cloud Shell? No, I'm not using it. Are you using the Bash? Yes, I'm using it. And are you using the PowerShell? No, I'm not using it. But if you go for the Windows with Bash or Windows with the Cloud Shell, you need to install the Azure CLI. Okay, so somewhere it's written. So that's the reason this required CLI. Okay, this requires CLI. Now the question is, how do I install the CLI? Azure CLI. Okay, and download. So here I'll go and install the CLI in Linux, Windows, Mac, whatever, Windows, straightforward. And this is the latest version of Azure CLI. That's superb. Older version also you can get it, but not needed right now. Why to complicate this? So I'm downloading and it will be done. So now let it be done offline. Let's continue the discussion. So here, what happened? I wanted, see here, this plan, I did the plan, okay? And plan wanted to check whether you have a required infrastructure in place or not, configuration in place or not. And they say, hey, I could not find out your is executable. How can I send the API call? API call means this call. How can I send it? So for that, it was not there. Now, meanwhile that it's downloading is happening, I want to talk about next option, next error you'll get it, which is called authentication. How can you authenticate Azure using Terraform? That's a question which I'm asking. So typically, let's say you don't know. Maybe today you know Azure, but many other providers you may not know. So what you should do? You should read the official documents, and these are the ways which is allowed to authenticate. Okay, authenticating to Azure using Azure CLI, authenticated to Azure using the managed service identity, you authenticating to Azure using the service principal and client certificate, authenticated to Azure using service principal and client secret, or authenticated to Azure using OpenID Connect. Whichever you are having, I don't know, in your organizations, maybe you may be having OpenID, maybe service principal and client secret also. Okay, so you see that what you have, and you accordingly configure your authentications. So right now we are going to set service principal and client secret. How to use it? That's a different thing. Let's set it up. So here I'll go to the Azure. This is Azure, and here I'll go to the where is the tenant here? Active Directory, and here I'll go and create one app registration. Manually I'm doing it, so command also it can be used for that. Okay, so here I'm creating one app, new registrations. And what is app? So this is the Terraform demo, right? Terraform demo. And here, and if you want to use single tenant, multi-tenants, all this thing, I think all of us know that, so I'll just not complicate. Register. So here I created one app. Okay. I created one app. It's taking a little time. Are you able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Done. Okay. So now all this thing is done. Now what I will do, I'll go ahead and create okay, there's a spelling mistake. See, I did it, but it's okay. So this I will note it. This is the app. Okay. Now this app, I will go and search for IAM for my tenant. And where is this IAM? Okay, I'll go for
What you want to search, Rajesh?
IAM. This is, should be somewhere here. Search is
Search with
I
identity.
yeah, that's it.
am in the subscription level you're wanting.
Yeah, correct. I'm searching for the correct.
Okay. So go to
Yeah, I got it.
yeah.
Yeah, subscription. Then I am.
Okay.
So now here you have IAM. It should come in the search, but it's not coming. Okay. So now this is IAM, and this one is loading. Let it be. Yeah. So now here I will go and add, and here I'll go for the road assignment. I'll do that here. Just a case. And I think that's okay. So role assignment, roles, owner. Okay. Here assignment, new assignment, and member. And here, see that here, service principal. Clicked here and just members. Here, this is a Terraform, the one app I created, and select. So what I gave the assignment is the owner, and it should work fine. What is this?
But do we need honor level of permission?
No, I'm just, I don't want to stuck for that. So that's the reason I'm doing it.
Okay, but at what permission actually it is required?
So permission, what you require depends on what services you are creating. So for the IAM, you have a different kind of permissions, right? So you can create a roles, assign the access to that policy to the roles. All these things you can configure it. Right now, I'm not complicating that one. Okay. So next, what is this I'm missing? I selected actually.
Okay, but using this app registration or this service principal, we are going to authenticate to our Azure portal, right?
Yeah,
And using that access only, we are going to create or delete resources, right?
that's correct.
Okay, maybe then contributor will be sufficient.
Yeah. So I added that this ID, this service account, to do that. So now what I will do, I'll go back to the home and subscription. Sorry, not subscription. Go back to the
Uh,
directory,
Raj-
and here,
Rajesh, one question here.
yeah,
Okay, so we are doing it through app registration, like which is a service principal.
right.
It can be done also like using user ID and password.
Yes. You can do through the user ID and password also. So automatically, I'll tell you this: the moment you run this command after installing the CLI, they will ask you, do you want to? These are the options available. Let me remind you again.
Okay.
These are the options available. I'm trying this option right now. Why? Because I can share this service principal and client secret with you, and you can also use it. For this, it will ask you user ID and password, and it will be set in the Windows also. Okay, it will prompt you. So for that, what I did, so this information you have to store it somewhere. What information? So first of all, client ID. Okay, client ID is this one. Second information, directory ID. I mean tenant ID. Tenant ID. Third information you have to select. Where is that? Subscription ID. So subscription ID is back. I'll copy it. And here you want credentials. So add credentials. And here, this is the credentials, client credentials. So I'm storing all this information. Just what happened? So here, copy. Okay, and this is the ID. All this information I need to set my access. Okay, anyways, I got it. So meanwhile, I think my download also had got completed. Okay, now this I will just, it's a installer. So okay, I'll click here. Next, accept, install. Yes. Okay. And client should be installed. Just a second. So how do we validate after AJ? Just remember AJ, that's all. So if you AJ is running, so that means it's got installed. So authentication setup is only one time. There are lots of best practices also there. Using that, we should set those authentication. But right now, I'm focusing on more on the, you should become comfortable with tools first, then you should apply best practices. Okay, done. Can I confirm that? So I'll just open up any command line and type AJs, and it's working fine. You see that AJ is installed and good to go ahead. Okay, so cancel this, it's running. And finally, what I did, so I identify the code which is here. Sorry, I identify this is the code, and finally Azure, this is the code. And now I will run this one more time. So I have to close this, okay? Otherwise AJ will not be taking from the path environment variable. Okay, so again, I'm going for this, opening up a new one. And now again type Terraform plan. And this time authentication issues, I'm expecting that. So Terraform, what is that? Next one, plan. Yeah. So I'm expecting now authentication stuff, issues, which I have already made it little bit of ready information, which I can use it during the demo. So let me show you the error first and read the error and try to solve it out. I hope I have not logged in already in Azure previously. So
Yeah, but we have created those like we have created SPNs and then details also we collected. But did we provide that details to Terraform?
no, I'm not provided. I want to show you the error, right?
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Now you see, this is the error I wanted to show you. So Azure ARM client of 10 subscription from the CLI. So basically, I have not set up this Azure. Are you understanding that? Now, all of you. Okay, so now the question is, how can I set it up, this authentication? Guys, lots of ways you can set it up. Can I go and set up AJ login Yes, you can set it up. AJ login also. Okay, that's one of the way you might have done it. Okay,
Yeah.
but this way I'm not going to do that. Why? For this way, if I have to give it to you, that this one, what do you say? The portal access, user ID and password. I want to show you something different. So what I'm going to do, guys, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this one, this information. So how do I do that? So I will ask Azure only. Hey Azure, can you please tell me how can I use service account and client secret? So if I go a little bit down, okay, they will teach me how can I pass it. So look at my screen here. Just a second. I'm looking for the right information. It's pretty long file. You should read it. So I'm looking for this information. So guys, this is the option number 1 for authentication. Multiple authentication method is there. You can set this client ID, client secret, subscription ID, and ARM tenant ID in the environment variable. Okay, client ID, client secret, subscription ID, and tenant ID. Are you understanding? Or option number 2, you can embed in the option number 2. You can embed in the provider also. How can we do that? So let me show you that example is there or not. Here it is. So again, have a little bit of cool mind, guys. There are 5-6 methods are there. Don't get confused too many times. Option number 1, I'm just asking you to be simple, or option number 2. Are you understanding, all of you, what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what should I do? You decide. So either you this one also, this one also. So by the way, I got this all ID, subscription ID. What is that? So let me gather it. So where is my here? So subscription ID is somewhere here.
Yeah.
So I am having subscription ID, which is page as you go. This is the ID. Okay, I'm going to copy it. Done. So this is my subscription ID. Okay, all of you. Now next one is, what is the client ID? So client ID is this one. I copied already in a advance. So client ID. Okay, so this is the client ID. Now, what is my secret? Client secret, I have already stored it here. And this is the secret. Put it in the string. Now, what is the tenant ID? Tenant ID, I think I copied here. And done. So now this is one of the method I'm using. There are 6-7 methods are there to authenticate in Azure, by the way, at least Azure. In AWS, we have only one method. So not too complicated. So guys, I'll copy this whole code and go to these providers, go to these locations, and here I'll copy it. Tell me, was it difficult? Are you comfortable what I'm trying to do? All of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now like that, I'll do little bit quicker, okay? Quick for this AWS also and GitHub also. So I'll not explain it to you too much because Azure is a primary one, but Google, this one, what is it? What to say? In AWS, I'm doing without explaining that stuff. So just give me 2 seconds. I'll do that. Site is little slow. Okay, so let it come. Meanwhile, I'll test this code actually. So Terraform plan. Okay, so I embedded this code. Authentication is also done. Let's check it out. What it says. All the errors also you have seen it. So I hope you should be able to resolve yourself.
Rajesh, one question, provider you have given, right? There's a feature, comma. What is that? Is a function or what?
No. It's have a multiple options to provide the provider. Those we will discuss this one once we get comfortable with it. Okay. multiple options are in the same document which I'm referring. It has all this thing. Now, guys, this is the expected things. I want you to read it because we actually know we usually don't read it and we start to jump to the conclusion. Do let me know what exactly this is.
It says what will be added, I mean, not added, what will be created in Azure.
Yeah, so
If we
it is
apply real,
actually it is telling a script going to do. Okay, so it is saying that one Azure resource will be added, and that is an Azure resource group.
Correct.
Okay.
So now, guys, authentication is working fine. That means correct now.
Yep.
So now what I will do, I'll add quickly, not explaining you, sorry about that, but I will add quickly this AWS credentials also. And let me
Please
tell you,
try to explain this also. Like we can compromise with Git.
no, that's also 2 minutes of task. It's not, if you know the things, it's very easy. If you don't know the things, then it's become complicated. Okay. So,
Okay.
so here I got it. So what I'm doing right now, go to the AWS, and I'm a lazy person, so I'll go and ask, hey AWS, tell me how can I set this your token. So AWS will tell me, I mean provider will tell me here. Okay, so go to the authentication method. These are the authentication methods supported in AWS, and I'll go for one of the ways. One of the ways is, this is the 3 things I have to select. So here I'll delete this. And region, what is the region? Of course, I am pro for my region, so I will always use my region, and that region is AP South 1, I guess. Yeah, AP South 1. I remember that. AP means Asia Pacific. AP South 1. South 1, I hope it's correct. Yeah, 1A, 1B. Yes, that's correct. And what is the access key? I just now got it. So I got this one. And here, where is that code? Here, this is the key. Sorry, my bad. I did not copy properly. And here, guys,
I think the Y is extra. No, the Y. Yeah.
And this is my key, guys. That's all. So now this authentication I set for AWS also. Similarly, I'll do for the GitHub. I'll ask GitHub, hey GitHub, please tell me how can I set your authentication. So they are supposed to tell me. Okay, so always depend on this. They are supposed to tell me. So I know that this authentication in only one GitHub authentication, which is token. So here this is a token. So let's use this token. Simple. Now how do you get the token? So I know that how to get it. So if you're using any provider, you should know that, because that's a prerequisite for that. Without knowing that, how can we write a code for that? So I'll go to this here and setting, and here go to the developer settings, and these are the tokens, which is pat, generate a new token, and password, and I'm generating a token. This is token for demo, and every access. It's a worst practice, but right now I'm not focusing complicating everything in discussion itself. So I'm just generating that, giving every access to this particular token. Okay, what's practice? I repeat, whatever the practice I'm following, the AWS, Azure, or GitHub, is I'm following the worst practice. Why? Because you should not keep this secret in the file, actually, first thing. But why I'm doing it? Just for ease of demo. That's all. You should not get complicated with understanding. So, guys, this is a provider I set. Now, AWS resources, I'm okay. Sorry, Azure resources, I'm okay. AWS also, I'll get it. So where is the AWS? So I'll ask AWS itself. Hey, AWS, please tell me. So here, EC2. And this is the, that's a problem actually. We have to just a second, guys. EC2, which is, should be here. And instance I, where is that? Here. And go to example code and just copy this. That's all, this code. Not complicating too much. What do you want? EC2 instance. And what is the AMI ID? I will get it myself. So it's AWS. close EC2. AMI ID I want, okay? A machine image. Understand that? It's very simple though. And here, create one instance and launch instance here. And I'm using South, right? South, where is South? AP South is here. AP-South one. And AMI IDs, I want this one. So let's copy this whole things together. Is the AMI IDs and go to this AWS. Hard code this. T2 macro is okay. Tag is okay. So this is the AWS also. Now I'll go for GitHub also. So where's the GitHub? I don't have that file created, so no problem. I'll create one more. And here GitHub. GitHub.tf. Yes. And here you can keep it everything in one. I repeat, but I'm keeping it separate. Easy to understand for me also, you also. So GitHub, what is the resources? So GitHub, this is the resources. Go to the resource repository. So here GitHub repository, and this code I'll copy. Example code. I know that I don't need this one. If you know the GitHub well, that's okay. Public. What repository name? So I'm going to name it something like unique, because I lots of demo I do that. So it should not fade. So make it unique repository. And this is the description. This is a public. Done. So guys, one thing which I have and provider, one more thing I have to set it up in the GitHub, which I know that. So over the period of time, you get an answer automatically, and that is called organizations. So where is the token base URL owner and organization? So owner should be, just a second guys, owner. I'm using the different organizations. That's the reason I have to use the owner. Okay, so owner is here, and view organizations. My owner is this one. These organizations. Done. And give the code, and that's super. So now guys, here understand that authentication I set for AWS, Azure, GitHub. I'm creating one resource group in Azure, in one VM on AWS, one resource group on Azure, and here finally I'm using one repository on GitHub. That's all. So these are three resources I wanted from the three different provider. Are you understanding, all of you guys? Hello.
Yeah, Rajesh.
So clear the screen. Terraform verify. Validate. Sorry. There is one error. What is the error? I know that. See here. Please read the error. Okay. So here they are saying here.
MI ID.
MIIDs, the one which is you have here. Okay. This should be in a
Quote, double quote.
in double quote. Yeah. So you read the error. Automatically you'll get used to it. Okay. And validate.
So one thing, Rajesh. Yeah. Don't we need to initiate it again?
No, why? I have not downloaded the new provider. No, I had only Azure and GitHub. It was there, and AWS also. I did all the providers. I downloaded. No, why do we need to do three providers? I wanted three
After
providers.
I think after after doing init, I think we added this token owner and other secret details, right?
You forgot that. I download the provider for the local, but this authentication required for the API call. No, when API call will happen, right? No. So I don't need to run init one more time. Init for downloading provider. That's all, which is downloaded. Okay. So now I'll do the plan.
Cool. Yeah.
Any idea how many resources will be created? Three. Wonderful.
3.
See, one. I'm not complicating too much. Initial one for AWS, one for this guy. What do you say, Azure, and one for GitHub. That's all. Simple. Correct now?
Can you show me that AWS one, the file one?
Here it is.
We are running. Will read all the files present in the folder, right?
Yes, sir. I've been repeating since morning.
Okay, yeah.
Guys, look, can you please read this here, please, for me?
Yeah.
3 resources will be created. So can I now create, apply? See the beauty. Apply. So that means if I want to create thousands of resources in one go, I can do that simply. Think power of Terraform. You just provide that your resources in that file and apply. So this is how we write a code actually for infra. So right now I'm writing a code for 3 providers, only 3 resources, but it can be 3,000 resources also. See here, are you sure you want to create it? Yes, I'm sure. So what to do? Write yes. And guys, it's creating. Just give us a few seconds. We'll be over. Okay. So GitHub done, Azure done, AWS done. Now, guys, can we validate also? So first thing I'll validate my GitHub. What is the repo name? DevOpsSchool 1 2 blah blah blah. Refresh this. Did we get it? Let me click on the resources. Did we get it or not, guys? All of you, what do you think?
Yeah, on the top it is.
Wonderful. Now,
38
guys,
seconds ago.
yes. Now, guys, look at my screen. Azure. What is the resource group? Name of DevOpsSchool - resource group. Can we go to the Azure? And it's a subscription, right? Resources group and refresh.
It was there actually.
Oh, it was there. Sorry, I have a habit of refresh. Yeah. So
No
you
problem.
have it. Correct. And now next one is AWS. What is the name of the instance? I'll tag with hello world. This is the instance and stuff like that. Can I check this? And where is the AWS? Here it is. Can we go to EC2 and let's check it out. See here, hello world, last one. I have a 2 running from previous. Leave that aside. See here, hello world, last one. T3 micro. You see that? So now, guys, this is called creation. I call that creation. I mean, let's recall the discussion here. Go up. I just created here. Where is it? CRUD. See, somewhere on top here. See, creation done. Okay. Now, reading. How can you do that? So, reading Terraform, using Terraform also you can do that, and through providers also you can check that. But Terraform, how can you read it? So guys, look at my screen, all of you, one more time. Recall this discussion. Never forget this image. See here, I write a one code, only one standard of the code, that is in SQL. I send to Terraform with my desire I want to create, and Terraform interacted with the provider, different provider, and send this code to the API of those providers. API responded based on the access given. If it is not access given, then they'll throw an error. AWS responded, Azure responded, and here GitHub is not there in this discussion. So they responded, and the response will be stored in where? State file, right?
Yep.
This state file. Can you see that, guys? Here, where's the
Yes,
state file? I can't locate it. Where is that?
On the second last on top.
Yeah. See here. Now, guys, you should not modify this code by mistake also. Okay. I'm just asking you to read it. Don't start modifying, please, because it will corrupt that setup, and then again I have to help you with the troubleshooting. So see here, let me recall this. First thing, resources. Which one? This resources is AWS. And look at this IP address. Where is the IP address? Should be here. Here. This is the private IP address. And this is the public IP address. This is AWS. Okay. Now this is Azure. See that. And last one, GitHub repository. So everything you have in this. Everything you have in this. Okay. So you can read this, but there is a different way to read it. Okay. So Terraform output command, but it will not work right now. Why? Because there's some variables has to be done, which I'll teach you one by one. Okay. So Terraform output command, where is it? Here? See that. Show output values from the root module. That this is the root module. I'll talk about module concept a little bit later, but this is the way. But here, this command also you can use show the current state and save flag. So Terraform show. Sorry, the spelling mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will show you the current state. See here, you can read this. So whatever the state file I was showing you manually, right? You have on the screen. You have on the screen. So if you want to see everything, I want to, what I want, grab the IP address. Oh, sorry. Again, I'm writing bad code again and again. Terraform. So whatever the IP you got it, see. Can we match this IP 199? Can we do that? Can we go to this 199 which is there? Here it is. See, and other things also you can validate. Now you got to know. So here, what I'm doing again, I'm doing the stuff here. Remember that validate I run so far. After that, I run plan. After that, what I ran, I forgot actually. Anyone remember?
Apply.
After plan, you ran init.
Validate.
No, no.
Init was first. No, that was
Apply.
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
one
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
That's one time, guys.
Init, validate, plan, and then apply.
Apply, and then
Destroy.
no, show and destroy. I have not done so far. Okay.
No means. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now this is the thing. Now, guys, you know what? I need to update something. What you want to update? Something. So there's one statement which I'm making. Please understand that, because even I spent a lot of weeks, 4-5 years, understanding this concept. At that time, no one was there to help us. Understand that. You can update any resources only and only if providers allow for it. Again, I repeat. You can update any resources for any attributes only if the providers allow for it. For example, I'll ask you in this way. Let's say you create a virtual machine on Azure. Now, if you want to change the type of the virtual machine in a running condition, can you do that? Can you do that?
Normally, when we do that from portal, it gets rebooted.
That's correct. Correct.
No, when for example, when the VM is running, there are some tasks cannot be performed. For example, you want to upgrade the CPU. Definitely, the VM should be powered.
No, but even though if you want to do that, yeah, you do that and it happens, but in backend the CPU, the VM gets rebooted. That is what happens.
VM get rebooted.
Yeah, so it's not like that.
Here, what will happen? Understand the logic. VMs get rebooted. That's one thing. So in that case, what will happen? Let's say if you change the, let's say CPU type in the Terraform. So what will happen? You know what will happen? That machine will be deleted and new machine will be created on place of it. Why? What is the reason for it? So the concept is very simple, guys, in Terraform. The concept is very simple. The Terraform, you write a code which is your desire. Are they matching with the actual? No. Because earlier you demanded 2 CPU, now you are demanding 4 CPU. So your desire was 2 CPU. See, first time you created 2 CPU, 2 CPU matches. Desire versus actual matches. But next time you change the code 4 CPU. So desire and actual is not matching. So what will happen? They will terminate those instance and replace with a new instance actually. Okay, so understand that. So here something I can change it, which I can change it immediately. For example, tags I can change it as many times. So here I'm adding one tags here. Azure, so I cannot do anything much here. And here I can change the description also here. So, and now I want you to look at it, some output here very carefully. Look at my screen. Plan one more time. Something which can be changed, I change. Okay. Something which can be changed, I change. And let's look at this. And see that, guys. Can you please read it for me, all of you?
So it is only making changes to 2 items.
And what is this? It's not addition. It's not destruction. It's a change because it was allowed actually by the providers also. So I will do this apply now. So yes, you can change using apply only. I said create plus update is equal to apply in the Terraform. Okay. So now it will ask for the confirmation. I will do that. I'll show you that. And yes, of course, it will take hardly few seconds. And done. Can I go and validate? So go to the GitHub, refresh it, and see here. Can I go to AWS, refresh it, and see here, hello world. And finally, now the time has come for you to destroy. So this is the last page of your things. So now visualize, guys, in your mind, power of Terraform. See, if you want to set up the whole infrastructure from scratch, okay, from scratch, which may consist of multiple providers. Write the code in a Terraform the way I wrote, all the code you write, and then whole infrastructure you can create using commands, code. Updating also you can do through the only one command, and destruction also you can do through only one command. Don't you think it's a beauty? Like you have, see, if you do all this thing manually, it might take a week of time frame. If you create a whole infrastructure, VPC, network, storage, multiple EC2 instance, gateways, security gateways, and all these things. A lot of configurations we do that, right? If you do manually, it will take lots of time, but through code, probably 5-10 minutes it will be done. You can not only create, but also update, and also not only update, you can destroy this thing once it's not needed. Don't have to do anything manual. So now this is you can visualize, that's the reason we call it. We need to start writing code for infra, and some of the tools which is very popular in this is Terraform. It's a market leader in this. So now I'm going to destroy, and all 3 resources which I have created, it should be destroyed using this. Okay. So now, from now, it will be easy for us because now you know the whole flow, and we'll do that. So guys, did you understand that? Yes, of course, I want to destroy. 3 resources will be destroyed. You see that? Guys, did you understand that? All of you?
Yeah. Let's say if we want to try only the AWS one, not the all 3.
So here you say, Rajesh, I want to run only one. Okay.
After destroy, you have to mention the instance name or ID.
No, not like that. This concept is little different here. So you'll say, Rajesh, I don't want to run all code at a time. So what should I do? Remember that I said very clearly, when you run any Terraform command like a plan, apply, or destroy, all the code of your program of that particular directory is considered to one project. Correct now? So what do you do? So there is a multiple ways are there, but right now easiest way which I want to give you answer for it is create a different directory. We call it a modules actually. Module, main module, sub module, and stuff like that. But right now I'm not discussing that one. Why? Because that topics anyways will come tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
So remember that answer is module. How to create a module? That's very easy, but I'll tell you tomorrow. Okay, guys. So now can I validate? Go ahead and refresh this AWS. Gone. Go ahead and refresh. Gone. And go ahead and refresh. Gone. So now what I need to do? I need to add more resources, just like this. Keep adding more resources. Look at the pattern which I said very clearly. Resource arguments, resource argument, resource argument. Keep writing it, and it'll be good for you. Azure also same way. GitHub also same way. Or any other providers also, for the sake of discussion, is the same way. So guys, do let me know in the chat box how many of you have understood this whole demo. I'll sum up a little bit later, but I want to see that if you have understood or not. Can you please confirm me, all of you in the chat box?
Rajesh, one small query. You said, suppose say I have deployed VM through Terraform code.
Yes.
Like say CPU with 4 GB memory, and later on there are some requests to increase the CPU. In that case, do we think Terraform code can be handle this one without deleting, or is there any alternate solution?
That is also possible, sir. If you don't want to delete, there is a way to create exception also. But that's what I'm saying, right? This is just we started the programming. It's like a hello world program I just wrote for you. Then if you want to do that, something like that, there is a ways to do that. There's a null resources you can create and you can avoid that. So many options are there. One by one, we'll explore all the options. Okay.
There is a solution from Terraform, right? It's nothing but the.
Okay. Yeah, all solution will be in Terraform only.
Okay.
Yeah. For every see, you are doing the coding for infra. Any question which you have should be solved by the Terraform. Else, what the use of using that? What's the use of calling this tool as a coding for infra? Right? It should be solving all of your problem, realistic problem, right?
Correct.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to 100s of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.